Recent patches have fundamentally changed the way that the game gets played compared to times past. Denies have been buffed massively, pulling has been nerfed quite significantly. The way that denies currently work, if you deny a creep, you get 25% XP, and the enemy gets 25% XP. So that means if you're in full control of the creep wave, and you're getting every last hit and you're getting every deny, you're getting 5 times the amount of experience that the enemy is going to get. Lanes have become 2v2 slugfests, with each of the players and the two side lanes fighting over every last hit and deny. You'll see team denies, you'll see supports going for last hits where previously they would just zone and trade hits. Tri-lanes, they've fallen off pretty much entirely. If you're not able to zone out and fully control the creep wave, it just doesn't end up being in your favor. And if you do pull and you can zone them off of your pull, it's pretty hard to zone two heroes off out of XP range at the same time deny every creep against the neutrals. This is also in combination with sequential nerfs to jungling. In the past, you could just fall back into the jungle and it would be okay. You would get a decent amount of farm, you'd get a decent amount of XP, but with the removal of Iron Talon, with the changes to the respawn, to the spawn of the creeps in the jungle, it's just been quite difficult to have a game that way. This has led to the prevalence of picking strong laners. In the past, it was secure farm for your Sven, your Anti-Mage, your Phantom Assassin, your Juggernaut. You could secure their farm early, you could secure a level advantage in lane, and they would become relatively independent. They could go on their way to Battle Fury and accelerate their farm and have a game that way. But in the modern dual lane meta, it's very difficult to do something like that now. So typically in a pub, when you're making a draft, when you're drafting your own hero, you have to look at which role that you're playing. If you're playing support, you're going to just pick immediately the most overpowered support you could possibly pick. It's gotta be a strong laner. It's gotta be able to contest CS. Preferably you have some kind of AoE, some kind of utility. Midway, if you're picking up your cores, you're going to want heroes that can lane against anyone practically, that you don't really mind that you don't see the enemy because there's a limited or quite specific way that these heroes get countered in lane. Here you've got your Bloodseekers, your Necrophoses, your Templar Assassins, Dragonite, etc. These types of heroes that just, you can put them in a lane and they're not really going to get dumpstered. After that, the draft has really started to develop. You're going to see heroes, you're going to be able to predict which lane they're going to go in. This is where the counter picks in lane start happening. And you're pretty much just going to want to pick after the enemy that you believe you're going to lane against picks, if possible. Otherwise, you're going to have to pick one of those heroes that doesn't really care. Some of the things that make a laner strong, it could be an AoE nuke to secure last hits. You really want to be able to last hit, harass, and deny at the same time. That's what a nuke can provide to you. Being able to spend some mana to get the last hit and harass and also go for denies or even right click the enemy at the same time. You're going to want to have the ability to trade right clicks efficiently. This could be because you have good sustain like a Bloodseeker or a Necrophos. This could be because you have something like Fury Swipes, where the more you hit, the stronger your hits become. This could be just your hero having good base stats. It could even be something like Centaur with his passive. And you're definitely going to want to be able to sustain through the lane. You don't want to be able to... you don't want to have to leave the lane way too early and concede control of the lane at any point. Having to go base to heal, even having to leave to go to the shrine, really puts you at a big disadvantage against heroes who don't have to do that, who can just stay in the lane. This is why carefully choosing your hero is so important right now. Lanes snowball quite quickly. I would argue that it's okay to pick specifically for the game and to not even consider the implications of that in the game at large, because you can supplement that with your item build. And if you win your lane, the enemy will be at a disadvantage such that you can itemize to fill holes in your team rather than specifically in your individual hero. Thank you for listening, and I will probably do some more of these at some point.